Hello and welcome. My name is Isabel, and today we will do a healing session on the topic of shame. So we will basically release and resolve whatever we can at this point. And yeah, if you're new to this will be an instructive healing session. So we'll be instructing our systems to clear, dissolve, release, transmute what we're able to and willing to when it comes to the topic of shame. And all that plays into it. So you might want to lay down for this one, but you can also sit, whatever you choose. And yeah, if you drift off, it really doesn't matter. So just get comfortable and know that you only be working with and picking up on what is meant for you at this point. And then you can also always come back, of course. Yeah, so get settled. Pause the video if you need to, and then we'll dive in. All right. So once you're settled, once you're comfortable, just close your eyes. Just start by bringing your awareness more into your body. And just start breathing deeper. Breathing deeper into your belly. Following your breath. And just start noticing what you're aware of. Any sensations that come up. Maybe you feel tightness somewhere. Or pressure somewhere. And just breathe into it. And relax on the out breath. And just keep coming back to your breath. And relaxing into it. Okay, and then we're going to get started. Okay, so we will start off by, before we get deeper into the topic, we'll start off by just clearing on distraction. Any ways that we distract ourselves, like from ourselves really, like from how we feel. And then that restlessness that sets in, like whenever emotions come up, whenever something doesn't feel good. I want to resolve that. And the fear of facing what's coming up. And the fear of not being able to handle it. We want to let go of trying to remain in control. like as a means of protecting ourselves from those unresolved hurts. And then release self-suppression, like any ways that we suppress our feelings, suppress what's coming up for us. And the programming to do so. And we also want to resolve self-degradation. And release any self-shaming mechanisms. So basically, like ways that we put ourselves down, make ourselves wrong. And let's dissolve a general sense of wrongness, like that sense of I am wrong, and all that that pertains to. And then feeling inadequate and unacceptable. And feeling tainted somehow. And we want to clear on times where we felt diminished, the imprints of that. And denunciate it and invalidate it. And also times that we did that onto others. Okay, and so there's this sense of like being bad or feeling bad, like feeling like a bad person. So let's address that. There's some that runs really deep, like it's all the way to the core, or it feels like that. Okay, so there's self-hatred that comes with that as well. So we want to dissolve that as well. Okay, and then feelings of unworthiness, like any forms of feeling unworthy, however that shows up. And then feeling unworthy of receiving. Feeling unworthy of love. Okay, and so that's clear on any forms of self-abuse, patterns of self-abuse, and also patterns of self-destruction, because all that relates to the unworthiness. And then that ways that we felt not accepted or less than or judged, disregarded, dishonored, and the imprints of that and all that we've made that mean. Okay, and let's address mechanisms and patterns of compensation. So, like ways that we're trying to make up for that, trying to be more, be better, fit in, trying to prove ourselves, gain worth, be good, be important, and so forth. Okay, so that's clear on templates of perfectionism. And then ways of succumbing to others' ideals, others' ideations, expectations. And then ways that we make ourselves wrong when we're not measuring up to that. Which that again just perpetuates the unworthiness and the self-shaming. And perpetuates that feeling of not being good enough. So that's clear on that one too, not feeling good enough. We're still working on that one. And once again, feelings of unworthiness. Okay, so we want to bring in or rekindle the knowing that we are innately worthy. And that out at our core, that at our essence, that we are pure, that we are good. I want to amplify that knowing. Okay, so we'll still be addressing something silently, but we'll let all this sink in and integrate for the next few minutes. Okay, so you can come back now if you drifted off. And just take a deep breath. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Yeah, as always, you can come back to this if you feel called to do so. And what I usually forget to mention is that maybe, today or the next couple of days, you might experience more emotions coming up. Because it's like we're taking a lid off, basically. So, there's going to be movement and things might be coming up. So don't try to not do anything with it. Don't analyze it. Don't attach thoughts to it, stories. Don't go mental about it. Just let it come up. Be aware of it. Maybe feel into it, but nothing more. As good as you can. Yeah, this was an interesting topic for me because this came in like 3 weeks ago, or more than 3 weeks ago. And I thought, okay, we'll just do this at the end of the week. And there were different incidents that week, which all basically signal like to not just go into this, because sometimes there's like a birthing process to this. And yeah, I just didn't want to listen to that. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to do that anyway. So by the end of the week, I somehow managed to hurt my rib case. And I don't even know how that happened, really. But let's just say that movement was constricted for a while. And yeah, I didn't even try to, because sometimes, certain areas of the body relate to different topics. And yeah, but I didn't even try to work on it. I just thought, okay, let's just see what this has to do with the topic. And of course, in that place of, not functioning, like all that unworthiness creeped up, right? And I had resolved like the bigger pieces, like the feeling like a bad person or rotten or, wrong. And yet, there's a lot of things that just came up. And as much as I love going into all of this, diving into the depth, into the abyss, if you will, and transmuting and shifting energies, but this one, it's just, I don't know, it just feels icky, it feels gooey, and it really feels like it goes to the core, even though it doesn't go actually to the core, but it feels like it hits close to home, if you will. And yet the only way out is in, as they say. You want to feel it to heal it. So if we don't do that, we'll try to make up for that out here, and it's never going to work. We're going to try to, attain and be more, or fix this, do that, all the ways that shows up, going nowhere, really, because we can't escape that. We can't balance something out that is within by doing something or being something, attaining something out here. No matter how much importance you gain, no matter how much you're trying to be good and trying to be better and fix something, it's not going to work. So let's say we have that sense of, being a bad person, feeling like a bad person. We'll automatically, if we don't catch that, go into trying to, do good things, good deeds, and be good on the outside, right? To compensate. But you'll notice that the moment that you pause, that feeling will still be there. It's not going away. And the same with, let's say we feel unworthy of love, right? We'll go into trying to gain that worth, trying to prove ourselves to be worthy of that love. Work for it somehow. And again, it's not going to work out. It's like the mule and the carrot. We're never going to get there. And in the meantime, that love can be right there. We're not even going to recognize it. And even if we do, maybe we even call it in, but it will have that touch of too good to be true. So let's just ignore that and just keep working on it, trying to gain that worth someday. But someday is not going to come, because you cannot meet something or balance something out by doing or being externally. You got to go within, because it's like an energetic imprint, if you will. It's stored emotional energy. It's stuck energy. And you know how they say, like, emotion is energy in motion, right? So usually when we just feel, it's going to be waves coming through. But we've suppressed so much, and we've been trained to do that, right? Our whole lives, just suppress everything that you feel, press it down, no matter how. And masculine's even more so. But we've all been conditioned to do that. And so it's bottled up. So again, the moment that you pause, you'll notice stuff comes up. Because naturally it seeks balance. That's why we go into all those mechanisms, to balance that out. Only to find again and again, we're still where we started. It might look different on the outside. But, like that, again, that sense will still be there. That unresolved hurt will still be there. Because you can't just fix it by doing something. And you can even challenge yourself, like pick a day, maybe it's Saturday, maybe it's Sunday, and drop all that you're usually doing. Even if it's just for a few hours, maybe it's just a couple of hours in the morning, right? Because probably, like, even on a Sunday, you'll have your routine. Maybe it's, I don't know, some kind of meditative practice. Maybe it's, I don't know, some kind of workout regime, even that word, or checking your emails, whatever it is that you're doing usually, right? Just drop that and do nothing. And I really mean do nothing. I mean, yeah, the necessities. If you're hungry, go eat. But other than that, just do nothing and just sit with yourself. Like, not going into mental exercises, not reading, not scrolling devices, not going into creative ideas. Just nothing. Be with yourself and feel yourself and see what comes up. And you might notice that just after a few minutes, you'll start feeling restless. And you will try to escape that, getting into movement, which is basically escaping yourself, right? So try to sit with that instead and see what else comes up. And it's probably not going to feel that great. And you might make it about that skip routine, but it has nothing to do with it. It never has anything to do with what we're experiencing out here. Not with that person, not with that situation. It's just it's just mirroring us, right? Where we're off. It's reflecting back to us. It's like a feedback loop where we're off, so we can actually balance that out. Now, on the other hand, when we do that and we go within and we dissolve that energy and that density, and that's what it is, because it's not just in the emotional body, it's in the body consciousness. So once we do that, we no longer have to project it out there. Like if I dissolve that badness within, I don't need to see that in others or put that on others. Oh, it's them, not me. You know, but it's not necessary anymore. They don't need to play that role anymore because I've resolved it within. And that same goes for everything else, like all the judgments. And I mean, we all hold judgments, right? None of us is free of it. But it just becomes a problem when we deny it and suppress it. Especially like, and sometimes you even hear people say things like, oh, I don't judge people by how they look. Guaranteed they do, because otherwise it wouldn't even occur to them to say that. And we all have that. I have that. But what we don't address, we'll put it out there energetically. We don't have to say it. It just automatically happens. Same with any unresolved hurts, any unresolved emotions, all that is stored up, all that memory, projecting it onto others. So the more we do this, the more we actually dissolve that density, if you will, or feel what doesn't feel good, the lighter we will feel. And you might have even noticed, maybe you've participated here a few times and have tried this on your own. And then you notice, like at some point, you might not be able to pinpoint it, but you might just feel somewhat lighter. Maybe you feel that your heart space is a little more open and that you're actually able to express more from that space, you know, and maybe drop your masks, if you will, and just be more of you. And that true light essence can actually come forth the more we clear out those distortions, because that's what it really is. It's just a distortion of that light. And then you'll also react less because there's nothing to react to, right? Because you're basically emptying your vessel. And along with that, also, we want to purify the mind. You know, it's not one or the other. It's both, the heart and the mind. But yeah, we empty out, and then we actually, not only do we feel less reactive and we feel lighter, we also actually feel and sense more, which that then is just basically energetic information. It actually helps us, you know, to just pick up on different things that are going on within and around our fields. And it also, and that's something I noticed, especially in the last few months, like this whole experience somehow gets less personal, you know, and at some point it will get impersonal. So yeah, before we end this, I wanted to tell a story where it was just so obvious that it makes such a big difference when somebody has that, you know, that emotional attachment to something and all the story going with it, versus somebody that has already resolved that for themselves. So that was a call that I participated in, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. And there were 2 people like back to back, and one was the facilitator. So obviously they had already done a lot of that. And I can't recall how they got there, but they both somehow ended up in the phrase, I am nothing. And the first person, for them, it came from the space of feeling completely worthless, like they couldn't get anything right. You know, they were in a lot of pain, really. And then for the second one, it was just coming from this neutral space, like just having that experience of being no thing, you know, being undefined, unveiled, unlabeled, just being nothing, which then simultaneously is everything. All right, so that shall be it for today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for participating in this, digging into shame with me. And yeah, and on that note, you know, when we do this, yeah, we do it for ourselves, but we're also doing it for the collective. All right, so I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.